get.
It is not okay. Don't tell.
Bro, you look like you're
It
ready for
doesn't need to be like that.
Story.
Like we're
just
gonna
kidding.
walk.
Listen, brah.
I'm totally gonna
rolling yet,
interrupt
Sean?
you.
I typically let guys like you
We're
come in
rolling?
for free, but not you.
Oh my goodness.
Save that.
You could say you're Michael's uncle.
All right. Well, he's recording now, so guess what? We got it. All right.
Welcome back.
Drew's at it already.
I am. That was the welcome back Cotter. If anybody, that's old school. You remember that?
I'm well aware.
Exactly.
ABC.
Michael doesn't remember that.
No, I don't. No, I don't want to remember that.
So we're back for another episode. What's going on, Mike?
Drew, everything's going on. Today's a crazy day, buddy. Had some fun today. Opening up another ice cream shop.
Serving that ice cream, man. The ice cream man is what we're going to start calling you.
Yeah, man. You know, we have 30 employees. Can you believe that?
Your insurance policy's going up.
30 employees. So, you know, they all get laid off. Well, some go back to school, but the others get laid off. So we need a place for them to work, you know, so.
Well, then that's good, I think. I mean, you got seasonal workers.
Yeah, but now they're year-round employees, which is good. So there's more to come on that later. We don't need to talk about that.
What do you pay for your manager's position?
Oh, you want a new job?
You know what? I'm always taking offers. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say not.
All right, $25,000. How's that?
No way. I'm not to serve ice cream in a mall. No way.
I love it. All right, so we're back. We have a guest with us here tonight. We have the owner of Fairways Dreams in Conshohocken, PA. His name is Tim Levy. Tim, welcome to our show.
Thank you, gentlemen.
What's going on,
Excellent to be
Tim?
here. What's up, Drew?
When you said Fairways and Dreams, before we were talking, I was thinking, he named his company after a clothing company? Because I was thinking it's Fairways and Greens. Because that is a clothing company. Am I right about that?
I think it's Fairway and Green, I think is how you say it, versus Fairways
add an S
and
to it.
Greens.
Who doesn't? Nobody cares. So it's Fairways and Dreams.
Right.
And that's an indoor facility?
It is a 6-TrackMan indoor facility in Conshohocken.
How did you come up with the name?
I did not actually come up with the name. A good buddy of mine, Matt Kaiser, who unfortunately passed away a couple years ago from cancer, was like the wittiest, dirtiest guy I know. And we were spitballing one day. The original name was Pub Golf.
Pub Golf.
Which I think is a really cool name, but I don't have a liquor license, so it seemed, I don't know, stupid. A little misleading.
Well, I mean, if you're going to take a spin off of the Philly Pub Links, I mean, it could be like Pub Links Golf.
I was like really into like the British Isles at the time.
Got it. Understood.
So I was thinking,
I like
you
that.
know, you could
I
be
like
in,
that.
Downtown St. Andrews.
Nice.
Or not. And so we were just spitballing names one day during COVID, and the other ones that he came up with, I have written down somewhere, but I probably couldn't say them in public.
You can say them on here.
If I remember one.
Yeah, this
later
is rated
tonight,
R, by the way. This is not PG-13 or PG.
If I think of one tonight, I'll bring it up. It'll just pop up. Yeah, and he was like, dude. Oh, he was from Abington. He had the thickest Philly accent. So he was like, Levy, I got it, bro. Fairways and Dreams. He's like, you know, fairways and greens, but you're dreaming. And I was like, no, I got it, dude.
Nice.
But I thought it was a really good name. And, yeah, so he was like a super avid golfer who came to the game late. So, you know, I could never get enough.
Yep.
And, yeah, I actually had him on the range once at a member guest. And he had an unorthodox swing, let's say. He's like, he started shanking it. He's like, Levy, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, Kaiser, I don't even know how you hit the ball, so I really can't tell you. You guys could have fixed him up, but he got his clubs regripped. That was the solution.
Nice. Nice.
So how long has it been open?
We opened right after the Brookline U.S. Open in June of 2022. So coming up on like a year and a half.
Wow. I thought you were open longer than that.
No, it took me like 7 years to get it open, but
Nice.
yeah. So like when Michael came by for a seminar, which is how we met, and we had only been open a couple months.
Wow. Yeah. I thought you were open for like a year or two when I went into that seminar there.
That's how seasoned we are.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Nice. So you definitely have a lot of activity in there then.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Actually, you know, forest fires in Canada are really good for business, as it turns out. When people can't go outside.
Really?
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I played out in it, and my eyes were burning the entire time. And I'm like, why am I out here? And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. That's
I wouldn't think about being outside then.
yeah, but when you work at a golf course,
Right.
it's like, no one's out there. It's like
Yeah.
you can go out there and spin around in an hour and a half.
I got out of the car with one of my kids to play, and she was like, let's go. Can't breathe. Time to leave, Dad.
Yeah, I actually canceled a trip to Matitacon, a day trip to Matitacon, with Tyler actually, and Robert Fernandez.
Yeah, but isn't that further north?
Yeah, but it was
Like
just
what,
as
closer
bad
to
up there.
Canada?
Yeah, exactly.
It was just as bad
More
up
in the thog.
Yeah, but it was bad down here. I walk outside. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to go today. This is terrible. And I got really sick from it, like runny nose, coughing, sneezing, the whole nine. My allergies were crazy during that.
It
so.
smelled like, like when you're doing like a cookout and the fire ends up, like you get the wind in your face.
Yeah,
It was awful.
yeah, it was terrible.
Except for Drew.
It obviously only bothered my eyes. I didn't think about anything else. So Fairways and Dreams, you have 6 bays,
6 bays, putting green,
a putting green. Wow.
ping pong table.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to work on my putting all winter because I couldn't get a bay,
Okay.
which is good. Didn't touch a club, but it was good for business. Bad
Now,
for my
is
game.
it funneled like it is at Golf Galaxy and Dick's?
No, it's
where-
actually the opposite.
Okay. Good.
We have like an Oakmont situation, so it's just right on concrete.
Okay.
Nice.
And I still haven't figured out the brakes, which is kind of my problem.
And that's fun about that. It's when you go to places like that and you are able to putt and do those kind of things. It seems like it's really easy at a lot of places, just because.
We actually try to make them as flat as possible. People ask me where the brake is, and I said, "Do you want to practice like a 7-foot brake, or do you want to know you can make a 5-footer?" Or if you're Mike Little, a 10-footer.
That's the lawyer in them there. You also have like a little like common area there, right? Or like
Yeah, so we call it our gathering area because we don't have a liquor license, as I mentioned.
got it.
So that's actually one thing that I was happily surprised by is people love the fact they're wear a BYO because it's a little more cost effective in these economic times.
Yep.
So we are located in the Plymouth Square Shopping Center where the REI is and PJ Wheelahands just opened. And we are
Nice.
almost literally right below the Weiss supermarket. And so you can walk at our fire door, upstairs, under a little awning without being exposed to the elements, and right into the beer section. So you could be back in like 4 minutes.
Oh
with a cold
wow, that's
six-pack.
convenient.
The kids today, though, they show up with like things I never heard of. Like it makes high noons look normal. It's like these drinks I never heard of.
Like Coors Light.
Yeah, right.
Bud Light.
No Bud Light.
Schaefer?
Sure. Okay, so is that like how is it public, private? Do you need a membership?
Semi-private. We're like a
Semi-private.
semi-private golf course. So we have members. We're actually about to launch a new membership category, but right now we have a membership that gets you what we call it gets 6 what we call peak hours, which is weekends and then Wednesday and Thursday, Friday after 4 o'clock, and unlimited all the other times.
Nice.
And we're about to offer a totally unlimited membership. But you can also just come in, walk in. Although I got to say, the owner and me, kind of some of my favorite things are in like the really busy weekends in the winter when someone will walk in at like 9 o'clock and say, I'd like to play golf. And we look at the schedule and say, well, can you come back at 7? That's good. So we recommend people book online.
Yeah. So is it sort of like, I guess, let me rephrase this question. Back in the day, me and my friends, we used to go bowling, right? We did rock and bowl all the time. Do you have anything like that to like keep people entertained and like dim the lights a little bit? Maybe have like some music.
Everyone goes to rock and bowling. I'm old, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, so
He's like, wait, what's rock and bowl? I can't believe you've never been to rock and bowl.
He
Really?
just looked at you and was like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, what the hell? What are you
I grew
doing?
up in
Like, what
Lawrenceville,
kind of
New
question
Jersey.
is
We didn't have
All
that.
right,
You don't
all
have
right.
that in downtown Princeton.
Okay, well then I'm going to assume the answer is no.
The
because
answer
you've never heard of
is,
it.
here's what we got. First of all, we have the bar area. We do a lot of parties. 5 o'clock, Golf Channel goes off. XM Classic Rock Party goes on. That's my personal choice.
Okay.
When I'm not there, I'm unclear what they play. I come in sometimes and the music from the prior night's a little sketchy.
Got it.
Lights go down, music goes on, the vibe changes completely.
Nice. Okay.
And and then that's where the disco dancers come in.
Love it.
What's the square footage? I mean, how big of a building you got?
6,598.
All right.
But who's counting?
Oh, well, that's big enough.
So our bays,
Six clubhouses.
6 clubhouses?
Yeah.
Oh, I
We're
can't do
1,200
math.
square feet. Wow.
Hey, it's a lot of room.
That is a ton of room. I didn't realize you were that big.
Well, so our bays, we like to think of them as spacious, which you guys have here as well. But like a lot of places, a little claustrophobic because, if you make your bay small, you can fit more in and, make more money, which is like a generally good idea.
Yeah, of course.
But we went with 18, our bays are 18 by 20, left and right compatible, like no problem. And our ceilings are 14 feet, but then they're exposed above that. So you have one user has no concerns about like swinging away. You don't feel like you're inside at all.
You could almost fit 2 people in there swinging at the same time. Not that you would ever do that.
We do not recommend that.
Obviously. But that's how big that is.
Yeah, no, I mean, you actually do. Yeah, if 2 people swinging in the same way, you're not going to hit them if you're planning it out. Wow. And, you can have, so we, actually, a lot of times I'll walk around like, dude, one person in the bay, please. Because it's very easy to wander in the bay and just like be there. And then we have, we have touch screens that mirror our 16-foot, projection screens. So the point there being is, you can either play, sorry, skipping ahead, but you can either kind of practice and just focus like it's TrackMan, or you can play it more like a game and you can move the aiming point around and do whatever you want.
Nice.
But I tell people all the time, that if you're paying by the hour, why would you want to walk over to the screen and move the aim point around? And nobody ever said like, hey, Tiger, hold on a second while I move the TrackMan and the camera. It's like it picks up your shots, right? So you get there, you want to, practice your cut, just aim left. You don't have to move the aiming point or anything.
Yep. Nice.
So that's totally random thought, but that's the one thing about the size of the bays that I like.
How's your experience with TrackMan been?
Their customer support is excellent.
It's fantastic.
It
isn't
is.
It?
I mean, that 810 number in Phoenix. No, TrackMan is great.
The 810 number.
810-225. I won't finish it. No, it's great. Yeah, I feel like we're a heavy user, like in a heavy caller. So if we see like something happen, we'll call them right away. And they fix things, like they remote in and fix issues. But no, I actually think TrackMan's great. That the install was great. We have the same sales guy. He's great. And I think the fact that they're like loading more and more courses, they're over 250 courses now, and we started there 120.
Yeah.
Interesting, actually, because I hadn't played indoor golf in probably 6 months, and I played Royal Melbourne this week, the composite course, which is like top 100. It's a phenomenal experience.
Yep.
It was fun. Like I had fun playing indoor golf. So it's good.
What's funny is like I hear people say, to me at least, I don't really like playing golf on TrackMan because it's too realistic. Have you gotten that?
I get people who are like doing things like, I'm like, bro, it's not a video game. Like,
yeah.
This is golf. And putting, people are like, well, what about putting? Putting is a different game, but it's not, it's actually putting. It's like the Bryson model of putting, right? You're 10 feet from the screen. The stimp is 10. And if you have a 40-footer, you have to know what a 40-footer, it's like, it feels like. It's good for, right? Yeah. I mean, I think it's like the wedge game, right? Like the thing I tell people all the time is DJ has this quote they have on the website. It's like, because obviously it works, so I'm going to keep doing it. Right?
Yeah.
When he dialed in his wedges. So, you want to know what a 34-yard wedge feels like? This is the thing for you.
Yep.
And the same thing with the putting, but the putting is tough. So we have leagues going on right now, and this week I just set it up. We turn putting on. Oftentimes I'll have the computer putt for you, and the scores will
they've got to go up like crazy.
I stimp it up. I turn the wind on.
And look, I mean, I understand. You could be putting a 3-foot putt. Your screen's what? Probably 15 feet away.
Well, you have like 8-foot gimmies, but
that's where the gimmies come in.
You got to have the gimmies.
You have
right?
to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I can understand how the putting can be a little bit more difficult, but the wedges shouldn't be that much different. I actually prefer practicing wedges on TrackMan than outdoors because it helps me dial it in.
And I actually think TrackMan, people always say, the number one comment we get, do you get this? Is like, oh, you're TrackMan, I hit it farther.
No.
I get that a lot. Well, how far you carry your driver? Like, you only know the total number. You carry 234 or 243. Like,
I actually get the opposite. I hit it shorter in here.
That's what I'm saying.
I
hit it farther with track outside than I do with TrackMan.
I thought you meant they hit it further on the TrackMan.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
And I'm one of those aliens that do. I mean, I apparently will come in and I can hit an 8-iron from 160 probably these days, and I'll come in here and have 130 into the hole and barely get it on when we're playing sometimes. So I'm always clubbing.
Fireball?
I mean, it could be that.
He either needs more or less, or he's always in the rough and he's
actually,
getting flyers on the course.
No, I'm not. You've seen me in there. The boys will recognize. They know who it is.
We were messing around yesterday, and if you change, there's a setting that you're supposed to put in, like how far you are from the screen, and it's like 10 to 12 feet.
Yep.
If you change that to 20 or 30 yards, it adds 20 yards to your swing. So when people say, oh, like it's juiced, wherever they may go to get fit, there's actually like a way to do that.
Have you ever experienced that? Like,
I'm pretty sure I have.
I have. It's funny because like they don't know who you are most of the time in that, like, you own a TrackMan
Right.
or own a simulator, right? And they'll like do that and you're like, these numbers aren't right. And they're like, yeah, oh, no. This club's perfect for you. And It's
Right.
like, no, it's not. Like, I don't hit it that far.
Well, I'm like, give me the other club. And then get my shaft in that club, and then let's see what happens.
Yep. I love it. Oh, I love that experience.
So do you guys have a kitchen that provides food?
No.
Okay.
We sell what I like to call golf snacks.
Okay.
Right, so it's like a halfway house, and
Yeah.
then we have a kitchen, but it's for parties. So our parties are BYO. People love it, right? Because there's not like a food minimum or like a price per person. We rent 2, 4, or the whole space out for however many hours you want. It's a flat price, and then people come in and they do whatever they want. We've had people decorate the thing. We had a party last year where a guy brought in a caterer who set up like food carts. There are 4 food carts in the thing, in the space. To like people who will just bring in balloons for birthday parties. And actually, incidentally, it's the best place for a surprise party, unintentional, admittedly, best place for a surprise party ever. Because first of all, it's really easy to get somebody there. Like, hey, Bill, we're going to go with this other couple for golf. And then it's super easy to hide because you can hide right under the bay wall. Or when you walk in, the party space is kind of around the corner. So like last year, we had like 6 weeks in a row of surprise parties. And it's always 25, 30, 35.
That's pretty cool.
How much does that cost?
3 hours is $800, which
Okay.
is like what I recommend because a 2-hour party goes by like quickly.
Too fast.
Yeah.
And how many people can you get total for that?
I recommend not more than like 70, but
Oh, wow.
I mean it's because you're in the space. So here's what happens, right? It's like you brought up bowling. I do know what bowling is, and like when you go to a bowling party, do you spend the time in the alley? No, you roll like 2 or 3 frames, and you go back to the party.
I'm rolling frames, boss.
Well, there's
Yeah,
like
man.
3 dudes who will never leave the bay, right? No,
I'm one of them.
right. They'll like it's 3 guys who first of all like before the party even starts will be in the bay like messing around with it, and I'm like, can you wait a second so we can like tell everyone how it goes? And then most of the people will like they'll set up a game after 20 minutes, but like, oh, there's a party over there, and so they bounce back and forth. So TrackMan, right, it holds up to 8 people, 8 names per bay, and it'll be like you go up to like Drew, Mike, Tim, and then you go over there and it's like 3 women, which is great. And they're like, I was like, maybe you guys want to change the tees. The other thing, the best thing that TrackMan has for parties is the Magic Pond.
Okay.
You ever play that game?
No.
So it's
we
like
usually
it's
do
a
like
kid's
close
game.
to the pin or something.
Right. So this is a game.
I know
all you
what
have to do is
Magic
hit
Pond
the
is.
screen and a monster pops up, and you're like, I'm the big winner.
There is a new game that
The miniature golf game.
No,
That's
it's like a junkyard, but it's Tetris like. So you have to hit certain shots to hit in certain cars to knock out certain colors, and you keep going by. And believe me, I teach a couple 9-year-olds, and boy, did they talk me into it. And I got into it, and I was like, you know what? For the mind, they've got to think about what car to hit,
Yeah.
what color that's going to do in the Tetris line. Almost kind of like Candy Crush
Well, it's
kind
just
of a
like
deal.
Mark Sheftick was talking about when he got the glove out,
Yep.
right? And he's like,
Yep.
let's just have fun.
The Michael Jackson glove?
No.
You missed that.
I did miss
stepped
that.
out.
I did.
Drew wasn't here for that comment.
No, but there are games on there that are definitely built around kids golf.
Yeah.
There's I forget what the putting is.
Oh, the miniature golf game.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
robots and there's all kinds.
I mean that the technology behind that game, what's the sticky goo?
Oh yeah, no, there is
Well, you wouldn't
a
know about that, Michael, because you've never hit a bad putt.
Oh, here we go.
no, but that should be something you could bring the kids over with. Is put it on, even at your house, put it on or whatever. It's a game where you don't have to strike it perfect every time when it comes to the putt to get it to go in the direction that it's going. You have to. It's all about just trying the experience. But enough about TrackMan and their games because they got a lot of games.
Got a lot of games.
But it's a huge-
They got 2 ranges now.
But it's a huge part of your business, though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well,
Is
team build,
is TrackMan the basis of your?
Yeah, so we have what I like to think of is the most publicly available TrackMan and TrackMen. Is it, like I never know what the plural is there. TrackMans? That's why they say radar. You got the most radars.
TrackMan, I like that.
TrackMens? Tracksman? Anyway, we have the most...
When we go to the show this year, I'm going to be like, to go up to their booth and be like, so you guys are all TrackMen?
Yeah. How do they advertise it? That's what I want to know.
In their
How's it
orange-
advertised?
in like their
By
orange
multiple
whatever?
track men?
Yeah. And their booth is packed every year. There's so many people sitting in that booth.
Oh
And it's
my
like,
But have you ever been in the airport afterwards and there's always like dudes just like with their brand new TrackMan?
no, I've not seen
It's
it.
actually kind of funny.
No, I've not seen it because I'd like to just kind of bump into them and see their reaction.
Drew drives south. He flies out of Miami or something.
No, Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. There you go.
Cheaper.
I knew it was one of the two.
One of the two.
No, my buddy Matt, because he worked for the PGA, we used to go to the show. And I'm like, as you've said to me before, a golf nut. So I'm like, the show is the greatest thing ever. And people go there every year like, man, this is like really similar to last year.
Yeah, it is. But the PGA show's a lot of fun, though.
I think it's great.
Yeah. I enjoy going down to it.
Yeah,
I
Bob
like seeing
Vokey's
what's
there.
new.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you
mean,
get
I don't
this-
like to go every year, but to like skip a year or two. Like I haven't been back since COVID. So I can't wait to go back this year because it's fully ramped up again. And, you know, there's a ton of dudes dressed in golf gear, look like a bunch of douchebags like me and you and everybody else that's in attendance. The guys that kill me.
It's a quarter zip brigade, right? Everyone's in a quarter zip.
Well, the
Everyone.
thing that kills me is the guys at the clubs that are like, okay, we're wearing a button-down shirt, a tie, and you can option for vest. And it's like, are you kidding me? I'm not dressing up to go walk around on hard cement for
Right. You should
6
wear
hours.
like a cream-colored blazer, and then they'll think you work for Titleist.
We're just gonna have a camera around us, so people are gonna think we're famous, and they're just gonna be like, "Who the hell is that?"
We're literally going to just video every single thing we do this year.
Oh yeah, people
gonna
are
be so
gonna be
much fun.
so annoyed. But there's gonna be a lot of blurred faces.
It's gonzo journalism. It's
Wait,
great.
do we have to blur their faces?
I mean, if they don't want us to be on their cameras,
You should get a lawyer for that.
I think.
No,
well,
I think
you
we have
are-
to ask. If you
I
walk
think
into a
in
booth,
Florida,
I think you have to ask.
what's the law in Florida? Can you videotape somebody without their consent?
I mean, I hope we don't
You
just
need to
put
check
the
like
camera in
the
somebody's face.
show rules, right? They have like those like
Yeah, with video and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. When I was down there a few years ago with Makefield Putters, it was everyone that walked in was like, "Hey, I asked the question. I said, can we video, or can we do an interview or do
and they all
whatever?"
said, "Of course, man."
I mean, yeah, everyone's going to say
Makefield
yes,
Putters.
I
right?
can't wait
But-
because I'm going to sign up as a buyer again, so that everybody sees it. It's like, oh, this guy's got buying potential.
The number when the CBD gum was like new, it was like 7 booths.
Yeah, I don't remember a CB gum.
I
last
Oh,
do.
yeah.
I do. I
was
don't
a-
remember
did I
last year. I
miss it?
remember when I
that
was there.
it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
It was
Yeah, I don't
and
remember
they
last
had
year,
like a
though.
couple different flavors. I ordered
Well,
it.
this is how long ago it was. It was before you could buy it anywhere, and I was like, okay, we're gonna have this at Fairways and Dreams, and then everyone's gonna have to come in because Tiger and Phil are chewing it. I'll talk about dated.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe I'll get some like pants that like look like MC Hammer too.
you can buy it at gas stations now.
That's what I'm saying. Any gas station in the area has some kind of CBD or
I just
Also, I
drank
haven't
a
seen a
CBD
guy
drink
chewing
before
gum on
this.
TV. Like they like all decided it doesn't do anything.
I mean, I think it works.
I think it works.
You guys sponsored by one of the companies?
No, not at all.
No,
It's
maybe
actually
after
a brewery down the street sells it in these cans, and I just go down there and buy it. I drink it.
maybe after the show we will be. You
Maybe.
never know.
Maybe. Work on that, Drew.
Big dreams, man.
Work on that. You
So-
know that Drew hasn't gotten next to a guest yet
That
on
it,
the podcast? We have not interviewed one of Drew's guests yet.
because here's the thing. A guest that I will introduce to the show will be somebody that will set records for a podcast, and I don't want to make anything
Any
underneath
good
that.
records or bad records?
No, new records. I think new records just because of the cross promotion. No, I don't
Drew's
have
trying to score on a celebrity. He's just
he's
putting
gonna
all of
bring,
his
like-
eggs in one
he's gonna have
basket.
Rihanna is coming
Trust me, I've been DMing him. And trust me, DMs are perfect. But no, don't insult me like that. Like just because I don't bring the guest
Come on.
doesn't mean
in.
I
You should
can't
get like
introduce.
Nick Sirianni in here.
No, Drew does. Drew does make the podcast though. Without Drew, this podcast wouldn't be anything at all.
First off, I got a really quick question about Nick Sirianni. Does anybody know why he's got is that the Italian flag on the side of his visor every week? Have you noticed
I would
that?
assume.
I have not.
I don't know. I haven't noticed it. Makes sense.
Are you a visor guy? I mean, obviously you're a winter hat guy.
Well, it's cold, man.
It's like 70 degrees today.
It was not 70 degrees today. I can tell you that much. But no, I'm a visor guy. I like visors. I grew up wearing them when I was playing golf.
I think there should be a rule, like you have to be like at least no more than like a 2 handicap to wear a visor.
But
I think that's a good rule.
But my
gotta be
problem
able to
is
pull that
I
off.
stopped wearing them when they started putting the stupid fucking hair in them, the one piece, so the guy could come out to the course like he had hair.
Like the Ian Poulter style?
Yeah,
Poulter,
that's what they did. They started, and Golf Galaxy started selling them, and people started showing up. I was like, okay, I'm out of the visor game, man. This is stupid. When you start adding hair pieces to it, it's over. Absolutely over.
Well, your mullet is pretty money right now.
I don't have a mullet, dude. What the hell is that about? Just because I'm from down south doesn't mean every person has a mullet.
So it's funny I say that. No, one of my nephews is he just finished his 6th summer caddying. 6th? Not
Where
sixth.
at?
Up on Martha's Vineyard at this course called Vineyard Golf Club.
Okay.
And I am not a member there, but he started off his first year after high school, and he would make like $200 and he wouldn't show up for 4 days. And now, he's like, I got money in my pocket.
Yeah, of course.
And now he's like a senior caddy, and he's really good, and like they give him good loops. Like he caddied for Obama last year, caddied for Jeff Lurie a couple months ago.
But wait.
And he's got the sickest point being he's got the sickest mullet going because the one year he didn't caddy, he drove, and I didn't actually know this was possible, from the Northeast to the country of Chile.
Oh, I have heard of this.
Yeah, so he spent like 13 months driving, and he didn't cut his hair, and then it was the guy who was driving was birthday, and he said, you can do whatever you want to my hair, and the guy's like, I'm giving you a mullet.
Is it?
And he's from down south, so it all ties in, Drew. You just got to pay attention.
It does, but so going back to Martha's Vineyard.
Please, I love it up there.
My family goes every year. I haven't been in a long time because of the travel. I get screwed over by JetBlue every single time I fly into that measly little island that they call Martha's Vineyard. And we used to play Farm Neck.
I'm a member there.
Are you a member of Farm
and
Neck?
that's where I got in a fight with my brother that I was talking to Michael about.
Okay, so
We need to hear this story about the fight with his brother.
we will, but we'll get back to that. So the other club on the island is the club that said basically no to Obama to begin with.
Yeah.
They didn't want all the circus with all the security and all that.
And he's there every
so
day
then
now.
he would be at Farm Neck.
Right.
And so he'd come in at Farm Neck, and the big vehicles would come in. They'd search you every 3 holes, and it just got
That's just you, man. I didn't get searched.
Well, yeah, you're a member there. That's probably why.
So my dad is 87, and he's a retired judge, and it's all he goes to the course every day. It's awesome. Takes a lesson once a week.
Nice.
It's a great facility.
And Obama knows him. He's like, hey, Judge. Every summer he's like, hey, Judge, how are you?
Nice.
So yeah.
And Obama always brings out somebody with him. He's either got some basketball player or somebody with him.
We were having lunch like last summer. That like you can look at the first. And I was like, I look out at my brother, and I was like, why is that dude just standing in the first fairway? And I was like, oh, Secret Service. And I was like, oh, there's the president, there's the expert. And then I was like, oh, it's Larry David. Oh, it's Bill Murray. It's like, that's a good group. I like to be in that group.
That would be a fun group. It's a great course. Why do you think that?
My brother will tell you if you could, and he belongs to Eastlake. He'll tell you if there's only one course. We just had this debate. You could only play one course the rest of your life. He would play Farm Neck, like every day for the rest of his life.
Is that good?
Oh, wait.
That's fun. Not that. I mean,
your brother is a member at where?
Eastlake. Too hard. You're in the golf business.
First off,
ask Drew about his experience at Eastlake.
I want to hear this.
I've never been there. My brother-in-law, he's affiliated with some kind of governmental, some process or whatever, so he got on there and bought me some gear.
You don't wear it, though, right, because you never played.
It didn't fit. It was big, so I called to exchange it.
Was it Donald Ross?
No, it wasn't Donald. I wouldn't wear Donald Ross.
Was it fairway and green?
No,
that
it was
big too.
It was a Peter Millar piece.
Oh, well, you're wearing one right now.
Well, but it was a It was from East Lake. I think it was a vest, and it was big. It was an extra large. So I'm calling, trying to just get, if they would just swap it out, I'll pay for the shipping both ways. Nothing. I don't think anybody ever answers the phone, and I think they laugh at the voicemails when people leave them voicemails.
You sure you were calling the right number?
I was calling the right number, trust me. The pro shop doesn't have someone that answers. It goes straight to a voicemail. They don't
answer out-of-state calls.
Right.
I don't even think it's out of state. I just think you have to be a member and have a private line to
I'll
get
look
into that. But my whole experience with East Lake is like, that's
It's good. They're redoing it right now. It's gonna be a fun.
Invite Drew.
so
He
back
can't come.
no.
He can't come. Right.
exactly. So it's like, hey, we're going to play East Lake. Nope.
He can take JetBlue
Nope.
and then get canceled.
I will sit in the parking lot and do nothing.
Actually, there is a great story about the East Lake parking lot. In the member guest one year, a guy had a little too much to drink that night, and he slept in his car in the parking lot. They woke up the next morning. He was the only guy there. They woke him up. He went to play. Comes back the next year. He pulls up to register. They're like, hey, Mr. Smith, nice to see you again. We got you a nice spot in the shade this year.
Nice.
So
At
you
least they let him
mentioned,
back.
Yeah, true.
so you mentioned you got into a fight at Farm Neck with your brother
Yeah,
about.
golf.
Okay, so
So-
tell us the story.
Yeah, sure. I would love to. So first of all, what I think we need to know is my brother is 7.5 years older than me, and we are, I would have to say, too competitive on the golf course. So we were big wrestling fans, like back in the day, professional. And so we came up with this thing called the title, and so we don't play for money, play for pride, and the loser has to have a head cover. And if someone asks you who's a better golfer, and it's for the last match, right? So you just have to say, like Jeff, or his name is Jeff, or he'd have to say me. And the head cover we recently put in place is straight out of bounds. And I will just say, when I saw Mark Sheftick last week, he was like, man, I really love that head cover. I was like, Mark, I have it, don't you? But anyway, so we were playing one summer, and I think it was like early 90s, and Clinton was there, and he was the president, and what they were doing then is like they just have like 2 or 3 holes open in front of them. So like we happened to have a tee time, and then it was blocked off behind us, and he caught up pretty quickly. So we get to the 8th hole, which is par 5, as you know, and we're actually on the tee waiting to tee off. So he drives up, we're chatting. My brother had the Wilson Fire Stick, if you remember that club, and he like swings it a little bit, and we tee off, and we're sitting in the middle of the fairway. Oh, and the match is obviously going on, right? And we're sitting in the middle of the fairway, and it's a pretty short par 5, and I used to be longer, 30 years ago. And so I'm waiting to go for the green in 2, and he looks at me, he's like, Tim, the President of the United States is waiting for you. Hit the fucking ball. And I was like, no. I'm like, I'm going for the green. So the green clears, I hit it. I hit the ball. I'm sure I missed the green. So he hits like a bad shot. He chips up, and he's got like a 2-footer for like a par. And I look at him like, that's not good. And he misses.
Wow.
And then he taps in for a 6 and picks the ball up, and we were probably like 3 feet away. And we did not get in fights. And he whips the ball at me. And then I charged him. All right, now I'm not the biggest dude. He's bigger than me. He's stronger than me. It's not the smartest idea. And we start like tussling, and I said, my dad was a judge. He's an active judge at that point. My brother's then wife was there, and he goes, guys, Secret Service is in the woods with machine guns. And he just walks off. So then by like the 9th, right, the next tee, we're like fine again. But anyway, a couple years ago, Golf Digest had this open thing, and it's like, please send us in the like craziest things, like tussles you've ever seen on the golf course. Like, guy pulls a gun on me, you have to pay a bet or things like that. So I wrote the story up, and they printed 10 stories, and we were number 10.
Nice. Oh, that's
So-
great.
I can only imagine the Secret Service are like,
What are these
Look-
dumbasses doing?
look at these
How
two.
did these guys get on this golf course?
Were your collars popped when you guys got into the accident?
No, we didn't. It was the 90s. I didn't roll that way anymore.
Well, I mean, you were saying it was the 90s. That's the way you
That's the
roll.
80s, bro.
How baggy were your pants? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
Did-
and pleated
Bleeded
and cotton,
wow.
right? Probably polo shorts with the little like seal on the back.
Yeah. Wow.
So how often do you get up to MV?
Like for a week, or 2 weeks, like once, maybe like that last summer I got to go twice. Took my kids once, and then I went by myself at the end of the summer. Actually, I was there for 11 days. I think I played 10, and worse every time. It's good golf.
Well, now that
And I
I
came
know
back and
you're
called this guy.
there, I may have to actually just drive up and take the
You
ferry
drive to
over.
Providence. You don't have to drive all the way.
Oh yeah,
Take the
just
fast
take
ferry.
take the ferry over. I mean that seems to be the easiest and most
Well, the most important thing is you stop in New Haven and get pizza.
pizza.
Best pizza in the country is in New Haven.
Really?
Oh yeah, tomato pies, but the best. Not like tomato pies around here, like thin crust pizza. You don't know this? Come on, guys.
I don't.
The most
know.
important part of your podcast.
I mean,
The best rest stop on 95.
Right? One bite.
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back next time.
I just follow that for pizza, and then I know where I get my pizza. No, but I think he's done some stuff up
Yeah,
there.
it's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, people say Di Lorenzo's is the best, but I'm going to get kicked out of my family for saying that, but I disagree.
Okay.
So we take golf and pizza very seriously in the family.
There's a lot of good pizza. I mean, you find a lot of it in Philly and New
Domino's?
York. Philly and New York is where you find it, in my opinion.
well, you know, it's crazy because we have a place in Florida, and the place that we get pizza from, they fly water in from New York City
Nice.
for the dough.
Have you ever
Get
had
bagels there too?
Yeah, they
'Cause
do.
if they're bringing the water in, they might as
Yeah,
well
they
double
they
duty.
do. It's a bakery, so they do all kinds of stuff. But it's crazy because it's like you'd think down in north of Miami that there would be some places that Italians settled.
Well, it's
and-
like in
What, you didn't like the word settled?
No, it's like what was the movie? The Steve Martin movie. It's like I drove an hour for
He's not going to know the
tomato
reference.
sauce, and it was like ketchup. Like they were.
That's.
like,
I mean, you really. I mean, you go out to certain places of the country. I mean, that's what. What do you think? Why do you think Peyton Manning in Colorado, before marijuana was legalized, bought 25 to 30 Papa John's franchises? Because he's smart and knows that people out in Colorado don't know how to make pizza. And
Papa John's? Though?
Are you
Come on.
tying the marijuana to the pizza?
Yeah, right?
yeah, kind of.
I can see that.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
I
I
get
mean,
that.
think about it. I mean, the pizza's not that good. So you just think, when I mean, for those that get stoned, I mean, you probably know that,
I wouldn't know. What do you mean?
I mean, who knows?
I'm offended.
You're highly offended, I can tell.
Oh, I see what you did there. I'm highly offended.
You're highly offended. No, but I mean, there's something to be said about it. I mean, this is one of those goddamn rabbit holes that we go down into, and we're talking about pizza and marijuana and Peyton Manning.
You go down the rabbit hole.
Praise.
Well, I mean, I brought
It's all
up pizza.
you.
He brought up the other two.
I brought up Peyton Manning.
I mean, he's an Augusta member, right? So it's like kind of golf.
You know what? The forehead's getting him somewhere.
5 head.
5 head, yeah, he's got a big forehead, man. He's a legend.
I prefer the Manning cast to the regular cast.
Oh, during football games, 100%.
Yeah.
It's totally entertaining. Those guys, I mean, listening to broadcast anybody these days, you would prefer those guys
Except
too.
for Clubhouse 54.
There you go.
You know what? It would be fun to do an event that's when the indoor golf stuff starts.
Oh, I actually wanted to bring that up.
Okay,
because
please.
I think what they're doing is ingenious, and not just because we're in the indoor golf business. But so the origin story of Fairways and Dreams, which I knew you were going to bring up, was when I was in college. So my whole golf career has been like I suck, I get okay, and I suck again. So like I was like not a great golfer as a junior, a good golfer as a senior in high school. And then, like, I went out to try out for freshman year at school, and I just, like, shot a million. And I was like, my brain is not here. And I was like, Coach, I'm not going to play this year. He's like, what? He's like, it's one round. And I was like, no, it's not happening. And then I went back and made the team as a sophomore, and he was, like, kind of annoyed because he was like, well, shouldn't there be a freshman on that spot?
Nice.
And then I transferred and then kind of did the same thing, except I played as a junior. Except Coach calls me up, and he's like, all right, we're playing the St. John's tournament this week, and you're in the starting 5. And the St. John's tournament is at the Black Course. And I was like, yeah, sorry, man, it's midterms, and I haven't done any work this semester, so I need to study. And he's like, what? You're on the golf team. We have a tournament. Let's go. And I was like, no. And then I made the team anyway, so it worked out. But I totally forgot where I was going.
Indoor golf league.
Yeah, indoor golf. So anyway, I was a senior in college in New York City, and they had like an early indoor place where you could play pebble, like somewhere on Fifth Avenue. And the way the putting worked, and we were talking about putting before, is
What
you
year
get to
was
the
this?
green, 1992.
Wow.
I have no idea what it's called. You would hit, and it was like pictures, I think. There was no putting, and the guy had like a mat, and he'd be like, "Okay, you're on the green, go hit a putt." And it wasn't, it was like, all you could hit is a 10-foot putt. And I was like, what this thing should really be is you have the screen, and then you go back and you putt, and you have like a nice putting green. But again, it's not going to work. You're playing a course like giant. You're playing St. Andrews, right? You're not going to be able to replicate the putts.
Yeah, of course.
So we didn't do that. But the Tiger thing has this giant short game area, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be super cool, right? They hit in the screen, and then they turn around and they actually chip and putt. And they have that one. I don't know who makes it. I think it was purchased a couple years ago. But you can program the green to have like replicate real greens. So you can
the putt view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putt views involved with that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I just saw that.
I mean,
that's the most
from
that
what
technology. I would personally, if I was putting something in my house, I would rather than put a TrackMan in, I would put the putting green in.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you should.
it's good.
Of course, you'd say that.
It's good.
from
It's
what
really
I've read and what I've tried to understand about this league is, I get it. It's trying to capture an audience off of that wouldn't normally tune in. It's good for business. It should be good for indoor facilities, indoor simulators.
I hope so.
Um,
Fingers crossed, bro.
Part of me just thinks it's corny. I mean,
Well, my litmus test is I'll watch anything of golf, and I don't watch Live, and I didn't watch almost any of the made-for-TV things. We can talk about Live all you
you're
want.
like, I'll watch golf, but I won't watch this, and I won't.
Yeah,
watch
so I'm
that.
saying if I won't watch it, like, no, who's watching it? If you can't get my eyeballs, you're screwed.
Yeah, but if you were to actually sit down and watch a live event, some of the stuff that they do and some of the stuff that you see, you'd be like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, but
They should integrate
the
it.
shotgun start makes no sense for a golf tournament.
I just haven't watched golf. Period.
In my opinion, I think the
Doesn't matter what
shotgun.
it is.
I
I
didn't
think
watch
the
it.
shotgun start is to everybody's playing at the elements at the same time. You don't get. You
But
don't
you're
get.
not, because you're not playing the 14th hole at the same time. So who knows what the elements are?
Actually, I take that back. I have watched golf. You know what I've watched?
Your kids.
Senior. No, the seniors. There's no drama on the seniors. Champions Tour has no drama.
I like the Champions Tour.
Yeah, PGA Tour has drama. Live has drama. Well, LPGA doesn't have much drama anymore, but it used to. Right? Like,
LPGA Tour is great.
yeah, LPGA Tour is good to watch too, but that's what I watch.
Yeah.
I don't need the drama of them
Well, the
talking
seniors
about.
are always on, like probably when you're awake, like 4 a.m, right? Because
No, late at night.
Yeah.
They have it on.
It's not live.
I'll watch
It tends
TV,
not to be live.
If I'm like 11 to 11:15, I'll watch TV because I'll end up passing out.
I'm anxious to see what the result is, and it may turn into something that's really cool. But to me, it just seems kind of corny because there are places around this world that these guys could fly to, could take the time to go to, spend time with their families, and play on real golf courses.
Yeah, but it's relatable
Yeah, but
though.
the
Indoor golf
22,000
is,
people who are going to be there get to see Tiger Woods.
yeah, and it's relatable.
But do I think it's going to last more than one season?
I mean, do you think they're really going to be able to see Tiger Woods with all the lights and stuff that's going on in there, and all the flashing and all the flashiness and all the banners and all the high noon?
I mean, when you could see Hulk Hogan with all that shit going on.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
Well, I'm a Hulkamaniac from way back.
Nice.
I
Okay.
ate my Wheaties. No,
Okay.
I ate my
Nice.
vitamins. But I think it was for my 15th birthday. I went with my brother again to the Madison Square Garden, and it was the Macho Man's second second WWE match. Obviously, he did the minor leagues. And somebody poured like a huge beer on his head, and it was 100% not scripted. The dude was so pissed. It's awesome.
So
don't pour the beer on me.
I actually lost
Macho
all
Man.
faith in the Hulkster.
Oh.
Growing up, I was a big Hulkster, but we vacationed one year in Tampa, and
Mr. Terry Bollea was there. That's his real name, as Michael knows. Obviously.
old Terry was there, but Terry was riding around on a mini scooter,
No way.
and I was
No way.
I was in my car and I passed him, and my wife was in the car, and I did a 180 as fast as you possibly can. And I pulled up next to him, and the Hulkster was not happy that I pulled up next to him in my car when he was riding his little moped. And at that point, I was like, you know what? He's not real to me anymore.
Did you tell him he was great in Rocky 3? Hey, Thunderlips.
That would have been a great line to give him. Hey, I loved you in Rocky 3. He probably would.
He'd be like, you look familiar. Weren't you in a Rocky movie?
But no, when I saw him on that, it's like, and I won't lie, like 2 days later, I rented the same kind of scooter he did and tried to go drive around.
Try to find his house?
No, I didn't try to find his house. I just drove around like a stupid ass. And it's pretty dangerous when you're driving those little things around down in that area because you're going over the bridges. And those things only do like 30.
So you ever see anybody like him or somebody like totally unexpected on the links?
What?
Because I have two that like shocked me.
No, I haven't personally. No, not somebody that I've been like, oh, I think a couple basketball players when I was in Florida played through us. They were retired, and I had to look their names up on Google to remember.
Well, yeah,
who
like
they
I
were.
had one which I wouldn't even count because there was like playing where I grew up was at the Princeton course, Springdale, and there used to be a basketball clinic. Like Pierre Carell had a clinic every summer, so like Boeheim was there, and PJ Crossman. They were out playing, but that doesn't count. Like they're already there, you know what I mean?
Right.
No, but we were in college once, and we used to play this course, Rockland Country Club, and we're like on the second hole on the 18th hole, it's O.J. Simpson. But it was 92, and we're like, Juice, what's up, Juice? It was like 12.
Wow.
Like you just like you're out for golf practice, and it was like, and at that time he was like O.J. We're so excited to see him.
What was it? 93 it was when the glove didn't fit. He must have quit.
95.
95?
94?
No, you know what? That is right. I was like a junior in high school, so that'd be 90, 94, 95.
That trial
I was gonna
lasted
say, it was like
17
94.
years.
Yeah. No,
I mean, that Bronco is not. That was a newer Bronco at the time, right?
I mean, it was the Knicks championship.
I was going to say they interrupted the basketball game to show the Bronco just driving around.
Yeah.
I think is that the only time in history that they've not history lately that they've interrupted a basketball game to
well,
go.
I mean, the NBA Finals until like the Bird era were on tape delay, or on just like here's an hour summary of the NBA Finals until like Bird and Magic came in. I can't believe I call it the Bird era because I'm a Magic guy. Actually, when I was like 10, I went to his basketball camp up in outside of Boston, and they brought in Larry Bird to do a clinic. And they gave everybody like a jersey to wear, and they gave me 00. So I walked up to him, and he goes like, "Hey, Robert Parrish," and I just remember thinking, "Dude, I'm a Dr. J fan. I hate you."
Wait, are you a Patriots fan?
No.
Are you a Celtics fan?
No.
Okay.
I just happened to go to camp up there. No,
Okay.
Sixers, the best team ever.
All right.
yeah,
All
but
right,
you
good.
grew up in the Boston area.
No, I grew up in New Jersey.
Okay, but you
Went up to the Vineyard. Yeah, I actually, when the Celtics do well, those guys up there are happy. I don't feel.
Okay.
But I was at.
I hope you're an Eagles fan.
So there's a long story behind that, but no.
tell us the short version.
Tell
us the short version.
My 11-year-old.
We want our
Don't
listeners.
tell me you're a Dallas fan.
Nah, Redskins, baby.
Oh God! All right.
The Commanders.
That's fine.
My 11-year-old.
The Commanders.
Daughter is the only Eagle fan in the house, but she was in kindergarten when they made the run, and I'm pretty sure the Lower Merion schools like stopped teaching in January and just talk football. She knows so much about football. She's like in kindergarten. She knew everything to know about the Eagles. And then the next
I
year,
can see that.
she was so sad when they lost the next year, and I was like, honey, do you know how many times the Eagles have won the Super Bowl in my lifetime? I was like, that was it. You might never see this again.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna see it this year, I think.
I was a big Harold Carmichael fan back in the day.
Yeah, that gets
You guys don't
crickets
remember
here.
that.
I didn't grow up here, so I know he's an announcer.
So last summer, I was playing with my brother and a member guest, and it was the first time in, I think, 19 years of trying, possibly 20, that we won a flight.
Wow.
I mean, we've done we've come no matches, we've lost the last, but you name it, we figured out a way not to perform well. And this particular time, we were losing going into the fifth match. And I started drinking, and we trounced 3 transfusions in. We won 7-2, and we leapfrogged the team in front of us, which included a guy who played on mini tours for 4 years, and allegedly was a 4, which he was a really good 4 handicap.
Interesting.
Anyway, so the next day we're playing, and Will Ferrell's on the course, like with a buddy of my brother's, and so we meet him, and I was like, hey, Will, yeah, we won our flight. Like he could not have cared less. Right? I was like, yeah, we won our flight yesterday. He's like, wow, congrats. I was like, yeah, we celebrated by going streaking through the quad. And he laughed, and I was like, you get that a lot? He's like, yeah, not as much as you'd think. It's from old school. He's like,
Yeah,
we're going
really?
streaking.
Really? He doesn't get that much.
No, he's like, I think he gets more Ricky Bobby and and Step Brothers apparently.
Can you imagine how annoyed he gets when like people come up to him and like give him like movie references and like,
It's
like,
awesome.
for
I
him?
would love that.
But
I would love that.
yeah, but you
He's
would.
kind of annoying,
Dude, I heard you on that podcast when you stumbled over that story with Will Ferrell. It was amazing. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow.
No, I
Or
just.
whenever this drops.
I mean, I would just think I'm not famous, but if people came up to me and like just quoted me on stuff that I said on here, like it would be like, cool, you listen, and be like, man, that guy's such a.
They do on social media when they
Oh,
break your
trust
stuff.
me, yeah.
Well,
like,
wait, who said the ice cream man is coming? You?
no,
At
yeah,
the
that's
beginning,
me.
you're like,
yeah,
well,
that's-
that.
yeah,
Eddie
the
Murphy,
ice
I
cream
can't remember
man's
what Eddie
coming.
Murphy was. That Delirious?
yeah,
When he's like, the ice cream man is coming. The ice cream man is coming.
yeah, that's him.
Here we go.
But no, I somebody on one of our clips that got some hits, made some just I mean, a comment. Michael's like, do not respond to him. I'm like, dude, there's nothing I can say that would even remotely come close to like in defense of what he said. Talking about Tiger and Tiger doing this to my wife and my kids and this and that. And it's just like,
It was absurd.
and it's just like, no one liked it. No one paid attention to it. And it's just like, I don't know.
You got to ignore it.
You have to ignore it.
It's just jealousy.
But I
that's all.
think if you did something really funny in life and it impacted a lot of people's lives, you would probably embrace it. I talk out of both sides of my mouth sometimes around here where I think it's annoying.
If you have
but
a
now
soul,
that
yeah.
it comes about full circle, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If I did something really like impactful humor-wise in this world and people came up to me and they thought it was funny, so they quoted it to me, I would embrace it. And I bet Will Ferrell does. I bet a lot of comedians do.
At least I wasn't like, Snoop-a-loop. I was like, it was somewhat relevant,
And
Ish.
he's got to go to the bathroom, so it's just
Now
you
I
and
can
me.
see you. This is good.
So I have a question about your fairways
up, bro?
fairways and dreams. Do you guys see when you guys were starting up? Did you visit any of like the 5-iron golfs or any of those
I
others?
may or may not have secret shopped at every place. Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Because I was introduced to 5-iron in New York City where they opened their first spot, and they're from New Hope, the people that started 5-iron, and they've just kind of, but that's city oriented.
Well, they've
And
done,
that's the
they
difference.
Got bought, private equity deal with Callaway, which
That
is great.
That's the other
I would
thing.
embrace that.
I mean, when I went in and the first time I was there, the food was great. They obviously have a liquor license. The food was awesome that they served. I had to go get a glove. It cost me $12 to buy a glove. Like, come on, like you're
You're a golf pro. What are you paying for gloves for?
I mean, I was in the city, didn't have my gloves.
No, look, the thing I hear about 5-iron is, and the same thing with Topgolf, right? Is cost.
Yep.
So if it's a Saturday night and it's a one-off, it's great. But if you're a regular user, and we're looking at other locations. And I said to somebody yesterday, like I used to think when we found a location, it should be far from anyone else. But indoor golf is exploding right now, and I think we have a great product, and I think we have a facility that's kind of like open and warm and embracing to everyone. We're not just geared towards golf junkies. We have a lot of people who come in. There was somebody in there 2 days ago who had never swung a club before, was hitting a driver off the deck with a baseball grip and just kind of bouncing the club in. And the club didn't break, so it was all good. And they were having fun. So that's
what
really
it's all
we want,
about.
Right? Yeah.
Do you now where in conjunction are you versus where the Topgolf is? Is that far from you?
Yeah, far enough.
Okay, far enough.
Far enough.
Okay.
Also, we are, again, it's just a little bit different, right? I mean,
Oh, it's totally different. I mean, there's nothing worse than walking into Topgolf with your bag on your shoulder.
yeah, you can't do that.
Oh, I've done it every time, and I will continue to do it. I won't hit their clubs. Screw that. I'm gonna hit my own clubs.
John Rahm plays Topgolf clubs, doesn't he? That's why his the logos on his shirt. No?
John Rahm Rodriguez. Did you know his last
Yeah,
name is Rahm
yeah.
Rodriguez?
Why do you think he dropped out of the TGL?
Because he thinks it's.
Is he going to live, or because he just thinks it's stupid?
I think he thinks it's stupid. I think he's like, everybody can hit into a screen. Anybody can do any of this.
Well, first of all, we know not anyone can hit into a screen. You have to be very talented.
Well,
To
exactly.
not hurt yourself?
Yeah.
To not hurt yourself, yeah, you do.
I mean, you're
You
hitting
have
on
to be talented.
concrete. We actually just put in a little public service announcement. We just installed new turf 2 days ago, so come on by.
Nice.
Now, from what I've
So
heard,
wait, can I interrupt real
it's
quick?
actually
on that?
please,
Let me
please,
interrupt.
no, please.
How long did it last? Year and a half?
No. This is our so originally we had 8 2x8 mats, all hitting, and I realized maybe 2 days in that you need to be 10 feet wide because they're tall people. Like, I'm not the tallest guy, and that came on a recommendation from a couple different people. So then I realized, like, maybe people's frame of reference is more home use and not commercial center.
Yep.
So then when it came time to replace, we cut out a strip in the middle and pushed everything out 2 feet and put in a 2-foot hitting strip. So this is our third replacement in a year and a half, which is good, right? That's a problem you want to have.
Yeah.
You want your mats to wear out. I don't want my screens to wear out because that's, a lot of money. But, the mats, if you're getting used, they'll wear out, and if you're not, they won't.
Yeah.
Do you find that people that play indoors a lot need to have their clubs,
We see like 7 or 8 broken clubs a day.
No, I'm saying for like, so during the wintertime, I'm here a lot.
I'm sorry.
And it's
Michael is like, the beer's, we're cutting you off on the beer.
no.
Are you kidding me? They stock the fridge.
Nice.
It's BYO.
Nice.
I bring my own, baby.
Yeah.
No, but I had heard, and I think I'd done some research on that. Hitting balls off mats changes the loft of your club slightly, and you would know this being a fitter. Do you think that hitting indoors, you need to have your clubs looked at just to make sure that they're not off?
Well, aren't you supposed to have your clubs looked at?
Yeah.
Anyway?
Regardless, you want to get them.
I mean, I don't.
Look, it depends on
Yeah,
what
but
company,
I mean-
what material is the club made out of, right? That's the first thing. If you have a Mizuno, right, Strixon, right, really soft material, yeah, I mean, you're no matter where you hit, it's going to adjust it. Obviously, if you just spend the majority of the time hitting indoors, then yeah, I mean, you're going to want to look at it more often than if you're just hitting outdoors, absolutely. But both will have, not that I say the same effect, but they'll have a similar effect.
Well, I mean, because a lot of times you are sweeping more indoors, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a sweeper anyway.
Yeah, you're not going to drive down as hard
Right.
indoors. Most
And
likely
I actually
you
think
won't.
when people say they don't hit their clubs as far, it's because if you're, taking a steeper swing of the big divot, you're going to
The
tell
club
your brain-
bounces.
Well, you're also going to tell your brain not to do that because, like, you don't want to break your wrist.
Some people say they slow down indoors. Other people say they speed up indoors. I mean, it's
Well, the
really
beauty is you can
just-
tell, right?
yeah.
It tells you on every swing. Are you swinging?
So, do you guys do any kind of club fittings or any kind of?
We do not. I think like everyone has their strengths, and I don't want to compete with Michael or the club champions of the world. Everyone's like great referrals, and we're all get along, and that's not my business. It's kind of the same reason I don't have a restaurant actually. Like this is my third business. So I was a lawyer for like 5 minutes in the mid 90s, and I started an early e-commerce company with a friend. And that was like really exciting. Learned a lot. We went from 2 people to 225 people in 18 months. It was like classic what was happening back then. And then I had another smaller company. So I know enough to know that I'm dumb enough to think I can start a company, but not that I can start 2 businesses at the same time. And the restaurant is a totally separate thing. So the places that, serve food and beverage, they have a seasoned food and beverage component, staff. And we're more focused on indoor golf and the fact that I've spent a lifetime with like useless golf knowledge that I'm now monetizing.
But here's the other thing: when you have your surroundings, it doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the thing. So where we are,
It doesn't make
in
any
the shopping
sense.
center, and across the street, there's like 8 restaurants.
That's what I'm saying. Like it makes no
And
sense.
another one just opened 2 weeks ago.
to try to compete with those guys.
Right.
To serve a dish, to serve appetizers, to make somebody happy. When in reality, if they don't like it, they're not going to order it.
There's a
And-
Five Guys next door.
And Fouat, which Fouat is great.
Yeah.
We've had taste tests for Fouat, PJ Wheelhands, and people are still going to Fouat.
Wow.
But they're all great.
What's the name of it?
Fingers, wings, other things. Come on, man. Everyone knows that. Fouat.
Look at his reaction.
No. I didn't know, but I thought
You know
he
what we
was-
don't see, thank goodness, is the McDonald's. Because that would, like, stink up the joint.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, but I
McDonald's
mean,
is awful. It's the worst food.
But
you
two
could
guys
ever
walked
eat.
in, two
Oh,
people, smaller females came in today with, like, giant Five Guys burgers.
Nice.
Housed them.
Five Guys is so good. The fries at Five Guys are delicious.
But here's
You
the
always
thing.
order the small because they give you so much anyway.
exactly.
Here's
Just
the thing
fill up
is
the whole bag.
that's where they should be like, okay, we're losing money by giving away too many French fries.
I think their cost is quite low per fry.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, but the cost to my wallet isn't. You know, you go in there, you
That's
spend
why they give you more. So you
but you're
buy
spending
more.
like
Do you go out-
$17.
Oh, the prices have definitely gone up there.
Like,
Do
you spend
do
17
do
bucks
you
for
stuff
fries
the peanuts
and-
in your pockets?
No. I have
Peanuts are
I'm
good, man.
allergic to peanuts.
Last time I was there, they didn't offer the peanuts
Oh,
in
jeez.
that location.
because of the
Yeah.
because of the allergies.
Every time I
so
come
many,
see you, I go to Five Guys.
There's it's
You're not the
the
only
peanut allergy world has taken over everything. Like down south, they have the places that they used to call a roadhouse or
Oh, yeah. Ground
Texas-
round. Dude, do you remember that around here, the ground round?
Yeah, they're all
You'd be able to
done.
go
They-
in
yeah.
and they
I know,
just
it's
have
tragic.
peanuts and there's peanuts all over
Yeah.
the floor
And
and it's
popcorn.
like and it's great. It's just you sit there and while you're waiting you just eat peanuts. Like
I mean, I guess they're losing that much business to where they
The
have
last
no
time I
choice.
went to a Phillies game,
Or
I
maybe
was like,
some-
I'll take a bag of peanuts.
I mean, it had to.
Then
be
I stepped
something-
on them by accident.
last
So-
game I went to, I got 2 bags and I shit for fucking 2.5 weeks. Peanuts.
It's a long
And
time,
it
yeah.
was so uncomfortable because, you know, I'm just cramming them in my mouth. I don't know if I'm swallowing them whole or if I'm chewing them.
How many White Claws were you in on that?
No,
one?
this was at the National League Divisional Series last year when they won, the Phillies.
Okay.
When Bryce Harper hits a home run in the bottom of the 8th. This was a prime time to be
peanut
down there.
moment.
It was a peanut moment. It was.
So, all right, I have a question about Fairway and Dreams.
Yeah. There's
So-
an S in Fairways, by the way.
I'm sorry, Fairways and Dreams. Man, I'm gonna mess that up.
2/3
I
of
know.
us get it right every time.
Well, never mind. What was my question again? Okay, so
You sound like me.
Why did you? I know you're rubbing off. No,
Don't be me.
We have some issues in the family right now, and I'm getting all these text messages and phone calls and all this stuff, and I just
This is the longest I've gone without checking my phone in I don't know how many years.
yeah, it's
Good
just,
for
it's-
you. Good for you.
I'm present.
Well, I'm present too. I'm just
I see
checking it
that.
because I just see people we have people text me that want to call into the show and ask
Yeah.
you questions.
I get that a lot.
No, I'm serious. And I was like, I'll put you on speaker. And he's like, let me know who's on. And I was like, hang on a minute.
Some dude.
Now
I've
I
actually-
really lost
by
what
the
I
way,
wanted to say.
I've been on the PGA Tour radio not once but twice, and the Golf Channel used to have a call-in show on Sunday nights. And I went back when it was on live TV, and I was called into that too in '97.
Do you know the
97.
number at the Masters to call in and rat on Tiger?
No, but I wouldn't do that. The
Okay.
drop was illegal though.
Yeah,
Okay, it was illegal, but the number, who answered the phones? I'm like, Masters, and they're like, oh, Tiger took a legal drop. Who is this? Like, do you know where you've called? And it's like what's the hotline? And that hotline's obviously shut down. There's
I mean,
no-
if he doesn't hit that flagstick, he wins the tournament, and we never talk about this.
There's a chance.
The ball hit the flagstick and went in the water, and he was on a heater.
but nobody calls in, and we don't talk about it.
Right, but he doesn't win, so who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
I
All
mean,
All right,
So
where were we?
I
What's
think
the
I
rule?
have my question still. All right. So my question for you is, what made you want to get into a seasonal indoor golf business?
Well, that's a negative. The way
No,
you
no. I'm not saying it as a negative
So, a
because
cou- a
I
couple
think there's
things.
a lot of positive in it, obviously.
No, a couple of things. No, it's a good question.
we should have him on our podcast all the time.
Tim's the best.
He really is just.
Oh, wait, that's the drop I'm taking. Tim's the best. That's gonna be my.
We're gonna do
Hello,
our next
this is my cell
podcast
phone.
out
Tim's
of
the best.
Fairways and Dreams. Did I get it right?
Yeah, brother.
All right.
Yeah, we should run a podcast
Yeah,
down
brother.
there.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. That'll
uh-huh.
be some fun.
Have a big.
Say your prayers. Eat your
we'll ju-
vitamins.
We'll
Take
just
your
do
vitamins.
a surprise
We'll
party.
get 70 people there, and it'll
It
be
would-
$800
it would
Well,
bucks.
the whole
surprise
space.
party.
No, we put like I think the 220 is the fire capacity. You know,
Really?
like the legal capacity with
Wow.
the fire marshal.
I don't know if you'd
No.
want to have that many people in there.
If they were like you, I would.
You notice he's
All right.
avoiding my question?
No, I'm gonna get back to this because it's actually a complicated answer. So the business I told you about was we sold textbooks online, like physical textbooks instead of going to the bookstore. That is a seasonal business,
Okay.
especially because you buy a lot more textbooks in the fall and the spring. So we'd have like not that many busy months. the indoor golf business should not be seasonal, to answer your question.
It's not.
Okay?
It's not.
So we certainly see a drop-off, but and it's a little too weather-oriented for my taste. So people know about us. Like in June, I was joking about the Canadian forest fires before, but we didn't do any extra advertising. We actually were, kind of saving money in the summer. That was a huge month for us, right? I mean, it rained like all the time, and people couldn't be outside. People know that Fairways and Dreams is there, and we were busy. It was great. What I would like to see, and it's kind of like my educational mission, let's say, is to make people a little more aware of the benefits of indoor golf. So we were talking about wedges earlier. Mm-hmm. My law firm is down the street from Tees, and I'm a big one for going to Tees on Mondays, let's say. I was.
All right, hold on. I see the laughter. So it's got to be a strip club.
No, I'm laughing at.
He's got a beer that's like perfectly open.
Okay, so what's Tees?
You don't know what Tees is?
Dude,
Tees
I'm
is
from
indoor golf center. It's like double decker.
Indoors?
I'm sorry. No. It's an outdoor double decker heated golf center. You can go whenever you want.
Where's this?
Country.
Again, I'm not.
But anyway, it was the only.
Can you see
have
it
you
from
ever
the-
been on 476?
Is that what you see from 476?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, that looks like that would not be
For
fun.
those of you in California who are listening, Tees Golf Center
or anybody outside of the Philly
and
area,
batting cages and miniature golf and Brian Quinn Learning Center.
wow,
Right?
all that in one.
Yeah, it's all that in one. Yeah,
It's nice, but I mean, it's the only game in town, right? So I would go, and I think like most people, unless you have a really great round on Sunday and you're playing twice a week, you're pretty goddamn annoyed come Monday morning if you at all care about golf. And if you don't, you should. So I would go hit balls, and I'm sweating and it's like, now I got to go back to work. And by the way, I was like this when I lived in D.C. too. And so we do have a lunch crowd. I think it should be bigger. And I think what people need to understand is when it's 105 degrees out,
No one wants to be outside.
you should be indoors hitting balls. And people are, but I want more people. And it's like I said with DJ before. He's like, obviously it works. I'm going to keep doing it. This is where you want to go to improve your game. And look, I like playing golf as much as the next guy or person. And so, yeah, of course in the summers, I expect our weekends to be slow. But during the week and at night, like that's when we should be – people come, but we should be busier. Like I would like to see the same amount of traffic all year long. And I don't think it's just alcohol, right? Because people come, they flip on a Phillies game, and they have fun. That's all there is to it. I'll tell you the worst thing for business, though, is Phillies playoffs, right? Because people actually want to pay attention. Like you can't play golf. You can play golf and watch football. It's very difficult to follow a playoff game, especially with the pitch clock, and also like play or practice. So we definitely slow down when the Phillies are on.
It's funny that you say that, and I completely agree with you. I've got a crew of buddies that we come over, we have a good time, but during the summertime, a lot of I'd rather be outdoors, and I'm like, I'm talking about 7:30 at night. No one wants to be outdoors at 7:30 at night and have to like worry about going anywhere. Like I'm not talking about going out at 1:30 in the afternoon and going to the indoor. I'm talking about going and utilizing.
When you're way home from work or after dinner, you bring your kids over.
Yeah, that's where I find the how appealing it is, and I don't know what you see when I'm not here.
I mean, I think there's multiple answers to this, and I think some of it is what's your clientele and why are they using the facility, right?
Well, I can answer that, but I don't want to interrupt.
Right, I think that's one, right? And the other is like it's people don't want to go and hit golf balls on a driving range at 105 degrees outside with the sun beating on them. No water on that range.
With shitty balls.
With shitty golf balls.
Oh, by the
and
way,
shitty
yes.
grass
So we
or shitty mats.
we require people to use our balls, which are the RCT, so radar capture technology for those of you at home. Pro V1, Pro V1X. That's what we have. You don't pay extra for that. You don't get to take them with you, but they're free.
They go with them.
We
They
keep
have
an eye on
to.
that. They have. Actually, we keep separate balls on our putting green, and not surprisingly, those we have like the Strixon double painted, whatever they're called, and there's definite shrinkage with those.
Nice.
And we have indoor golf tees, right? So people use our balls and tees, and Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I just talked to a guy today who's said he was going to be home from January through April on paternity leave.
Nice.
And he's like, I'm going to be in there every day. He's like, do you allow sleeping babies? And I was like, it wouldn't be the first. But that's the kind of thing, like, I think people aren't 100% focused on that. And that's kind of some of our marketing. We just started this new marketing campaign, The Sun Never Sets at Fairways and Dreams.
Are you open 24 hours?
We are not. So I guess to that extent it does. But we're pretty much.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
open
call
The
you
sun
out. I
does
just thought
set
maybe you
at
changed your hours.
4:58, but not at Fairways and Dreams.
That's a. See, you know what? That's why we need more smart people around the table. All right, let's move on.
Sorry.
And the only reason I know that is because I have to send a message every day to our new carts, to all the morons out there that are trying to stay out late. And this is a funny thing. Last night, I don't want my cart staff to have to be out there trying to clean carts in the dark, and then somebody return a cart that's damaged. We won't be able to see it. It's hard to tell. So
That's why they bring it back after it's dark.
Exactly, but don't tell them that. But last night I sent a message out 15 minutes. Hey, 15 minutes, sun sets in 15 minutes, golf course is closed. Please turn to the clubhouse. And I can see on our map on my phone when they're not moving. So I finally sent this one group, just their 2 carts. I said, this is the final warning. The cart will shut off in 5 minutes.
Nice.
When it shuts off, you will have to walk from wherever you are, and we will come get the cart. And believe it or not, that cart made it back in 30 seconds.
Wow. That's what I like about public golf. You
But
can say that.
But here's the thing. It's like with the 10-inch screen that we have, it's like driving with these lights in front of you in the dark.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't see anything.
No.
And coming off of our back 9, you'll end up on the pond on 18, and we've got a brand new cart in the pond because you were trying to get that last 30 seconds in.
So I actually think it's good for your business, obviously, the satellite and, with the carts. But I think, I actually think there's too much information in the carts now. Right? The GPS is like a 50-50 proposition. And the carts, you can drive here, you can't drive there. This has got to be a better way. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm glad you brought
cart
this up.
stops, and you got to back it up. That takes 5 minutes.
No, I'm glad you brought this up. So we've had them for a little over a month now, and our pace of play is 4 hours and 13 minutes.
And what was it before?
4 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh.
This is with geofences.
Yeah.
Driving in where you can't. And, it's we're able to, it does so many things for our club to be able to see where people are. But, at the same point, our superintendent, when he shoots a cup, anytime they shoot a cup, they go right over it, shoot it, goes right to the cart, pin. I mean, it's 99.5% accurate. And, when you roll up to the green, it shows you the contour of the green, so you kind of know where your putt's going. So it's helping pace of play. And if pace of play can be sped up and people can have a better time.
Do you think it's because of the yardage more than anything else? Like people aren't walking off. Okay, well, where's the 150 marker trying to find
I think
things?
that helps out with because we get some guys that'll still shoot it. I've been out there and I'm like, tell me what do you think it is, and they'll shoot it, and I'll look at the screen. And I'm like, says it right on the screen where you're standing.
So here's something
good.
I think
it is good.
I think lasers are good for golf. Don't get me wrong. But one thing I think that's missing now, again, it's like too much information. You're not thinking enough, right? Way better when you have front, back, middle. You don't need to know that it's 174 to the pin. You need to know that there's 4 yards past the pin, and you should be hitting at 165.
So in the wintertime, we're going to be to the middle of the green because we have 2 cups cut. So
nice.
And in that same respect, I agree 100%.
But I'm like everybody.
I want to know
I'm
front.
like, that's a 5
I want to know
iron.
the middle. I want to know the back. So if I stick one, I've got this to the back.
Right.
If I'm short, I can at least make it over the front. I agree with that.
But if I'm just playing, you don't.
That's where a pin sheet's
You get in a
right.
rut. Yeah, but again, you're worried. You want to keep playing fast. You're running around. It's almost like back in the day when the distance was always to the middle of the green. You just found a sprinkler. you pound it to the middle, right? What does it say? If you hit the middle of every green, your score would go down by how much?
Oh, a lot.
10 strokes,
I
if
don't,
not
I don't know
more.
what the number is, but
Right,
it's
that's
a lot.
like that's one of the statistical things, right? They're like just aim for the middle of every green.
And you know what's crazy is
By the way, I do not do that.
we've got a couple groups.
It depends.
We got a couple groups that go out, and they tend to play very early, and they sometimes catch up to our crew cutting greens.
I've gotten that before. I've gotten Mr. Levy. You need to slow down. I'm like, I do.
Well, if you don't complain about not having a pin to hit into,
Yeah.
then you're fine. But to complain about the guys doing their job, and it's like you've caught up to
Right.
them, you've played in an hour and 59 minutes, and you're on the 14th hole, like, slow down a little bit. Give our guys a little bit. So that to me is like, when I hear somebody like, oh, I didn't have a pin to shoot at, go to the middle of the green.
Right.
Holes somewhere near it.
So I used to play Riverton every Monday in the winter with my old pro, Wally Tittlemeyer. This was back in, I want to say 2009.
Oh, a long time ago.
Long time ago. And there was no pins on Mondays when we'd walk on Mondays. No pins. Had some of my best rounds ever. Because you're just like, well, we got to guess.
It's
now,
close.
Riverton has small greens.
Right,
okay?
but the pins,
Very
the hole's
slopey,
somewhere
small
close.
It's
greens.
also hard to aim without a target. You know
It
what I mean?
is
Like,
hard
you're
to
just
aim
like-
without a target. I do agree with that.
That's a pretty good skill to develop.
But no, I mean, you will lower your scores, 100%.
You know where else you'll lower your scores?
Indoor
On
golf.
TrackMan.
On
Fairways and Dreams is where you lower your
Fairways
scores.
Dreams,
at.
absolutely.
And our putting green and ping pong table. Did we talk about that? I don't think we did. We
Little
have a
bit.
ping pong table.
So, do you guys have ping pong tournaments?
No, we just have because our balls are kind of crappy, and we just have the one table. We actually briefly thought about there's a 13,000 square foot space next to us, and I was like, oh, we could have a ping pong club. But then I realized, to my earlier point, I don't know anything about that at all.
Yeah.
Pickleball would be.
Yeah,
A
I think
better-
I think the ceilings aren't high enough for that.
I mean,
Bowling alley.
bowling alley is another
Well, you
one.
could do rockable. I don't know if you know what that is, but
I have no idea what rock and roll is. No clue.
I know what rockabilly is. Springsteen.
No, they had the red pin. Remember, you don't remember this? Seriously, you didn't do rock and roll?
Look at me.
Did you do rock and roll?
No, but down south they had like neon bowling where certain pins were lit up at.
Oh, I've done
Yeah.
that.
that kind of thing. Like it's just a play on bowling.
I'm not good at bowling. Although Kingpin is an excellent move.
First off, talk about bowling. This
Is he good?
clown over here, he's got first off, he's got a bag. He's got 2 bowling balls.
Do you know what my bag is? It's a Titleist bag.
Like the
Tit-
shag bag?
no, it's a Titleist rolling bag.
Rolling bag. And he's got 2 balls in it. And I believe the last time I looked in it, there was cardboard like separating the 2 bowling balls, and they do different things. See, I just have my own pair of shoes.
Really?
Like
I don't have my own pair of shoes though.
I don't.
You guys are.
I don't have.
What do you guys bowl?
during the wintertime?
No, what? Not like. What do you?
We bowl with Facenda.
What do you shoot? No, what's your score? Like, what do you bowl?
Oh, I'm not good because
Isn't that
like
the
the
expression? What do you bowl?
like
What's your score? What's your
he's-
average?
What'd you
I think,
shoot?
Maybe? What's your average?
What's your average? No, I'm below average. He's probably he's in the mid 200s every time. Like he can have a
No.
you can have a good you can definitely.
I think bowling,
I
you should-
can,
you should
not
shoot-
every time,
You
but I
should shoot
can.
for like a golf type score, like 73, 74. That's good, right?
But here's a
I think mid 200s would be like probably. I think that's more
That's
like a
really good,
68,
dude.
69. I think.
It's like a 63.
No.
63 would be like 270 something.
yeah 280s.
Yeah. That'd
But
be 63.
here's the
Who
thing.
wins the Open?
Here's
Who
the
said that?
Oh, I don't know.
Arnold Palmer.
Palmer.
here's the thing
There
about
you go. There you go.
Here's about bowling
Did.
for me when I go out and bowl with these guys. I'm left-handed, so I'm bowling against the grain.
Play golf lefty already?
Left. What do you think?
I don't know. Mickelson plays lefty. He's a
I'm
righty. I
lefty.
don't know.
I'm left-handed. Everything.
You big Bob Charles fan?
Bob Charles?
Oh boy,
No.
he's the first lefty to win a major.
Well, I obviously am not that educated. I'm sure I'll read about it in my PGA booklet this year.
Well, he was from New Zealand, so they might not put it in there.
And they're haters on that. But
They
no,
really
when we
mean
go
it.
bowling, like the lanes are geared for right-handed bowlers.
They're not geared for
I don't think
right-handed
so.
bowlers.
The way
There's just more. There's less oil on the right-hand side because there's more right-handed bowlers. That's all.
so they're geared towards
What does
right-handed
the oil
bowlers.
do?
Fine.
Just makes it slicker.
yeah.
So when they're able
spins more, spins less.
they're
your
able
indoor
to just
shuffleboard.
roll the rock and you can just see it cut and it just cuts right back in the middle. I bowl being a lefty and I'm going against the grain and my ball never cuts back. Mine
You
just
know what
stays.
you could be doing instead of bowling? You could be working on your wedge game, dialing in your wedges.
I actually can hit my wedges pretty good. That's one of the part. In fact, the last time I played, the caddy was like, "The best part of your game is your wedge game," and I was like, "Thanks."
You know what I get a lot? I get your best part of your game is your hybrids. You should get a whole bag of hybrids.
You know they're going.
Cleveland
had
Golf
that
makes
before,
them.
by the way.
I mean, trust me, they're going. What's the what? I know there's 7 hybrids. Is there?
You can get like 9 hybrids. You can
Get a hybrid. You can get a wedge that looks like a hybrid. I'm not sure how you like
you
hit
can,
it.
yeah, you can get wedge hybrids. Yeah, Cleveland.
I don't think you're taking that over like a pine tree.
Yeah, Cleveland Golf.
No, you're definitely not taking it over.
I think Callaway did it.
I
for a
believe it's
little bit,
called
too.
Cleveland Strixon or Strixon Cleveland.
It's technically Dunlop Sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dunlop owns all of them, or something like that. They're the parent company.
Sexio.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the
Zexio.
box right there.
Yeah, Zexio.
Is that how you
They're all
pronounce
part of it. What's that?
it? Zexi? How do you pronounce it?
Exio, Exio.
Zexio. XXIO.
I've had so many people come
So
in. Like,
many.
it's so.
You got any of
They're-
those XXIO clubs?
If
How
you want,
about 30? I just came up with that. XX plus a 10.
Yeah, all right.
This
Yeah,
podcast is.
You know, I
killing
think
me.
someone actually said that to me one time.
Do you have a 30?
Yeah.
first
I think
off,
someone actually said that. Now you say
they're
that.
not cheap. Like
No.
it's
No, they're the first like super pro. I think before even Callaway started doing it, like
every old person in America.
in Florida.
Yeah, they have every club in
dominate
Florida
Florida.
has just done well with Exio because it's just. I mean, we did well that
first-
one
Well,
year.
wait,
The
so
first year,
actually, I'm
It's like
glad you brought that up. 'Cause-
$80,000 in club sales just in
Jeez.
one company.
yeah,
So I had a question for you guys, but I don't know if you've been playing golf as long as I have. But I mentioned my dad before. He started caddying when he was 14 in the 50s at Yardley, and his father didn't play golf, but like we got into golf because he was really into it. But like when he started playing, all they had was forged irons, right? And then he belonged to this club in Lawrenceville, and ping was out, and he asked the pro to get him a set of pings. The guy was like, no. It's like all I sell is my grind of irons.
Wow.
And like, of course, my dad found it. So I come by my club and saying this, honestly. But the question is technology. Like, have you seen in teaching that would you say the game is easier or different? Like, I always say golf used to be hard. Now it's easy, but I suck either way.
I think it's easier.
I think the good players are good, and there's a lot more of them because of it.
But you think it's technology, or do you think it's Tiger brought really good athletes in the game?
Technology.
I think it's a combination of both.
I think it's technology. I mean, talk about Tiger. Tiger, we people haven't been playing or thinking like Tiger for years. And when I say that, growing up when Tiger was in his prime and Nike was selling golf clubs and they were selling everything that they could, they were that was the moment. But now it's like, I'm not going to play a Bridgestone ball because Tiger's playing a Bridgestone ball
No,
now.
because Kuchar does. That's why.
Yeah,
Or Freddie. Like in my day, the hot clubs were the Tommy Armour 88 45s because Freddie and Davis played them, and those were guys were like, that's who you wanted to be.
Yeah, but Freddie, I mean, look at Freddie's swing.
Yeah.
He will go down as one of the purest golf swings.
Totally agree.
He's
And
going to play till he's 80.
Yeah.
he's had back issues, but he can still swing I mean, it's just effortless.
He's lost a lot of distance, though, actually, which is interesting.
It could be that. Is he playing a yellow ball? Is that what's doing
Do you
it?
think they go shorter? I
They-
think the orange balls go shorter, but the yellow balls are fine.
Maybe.
Hale Irwin, orange ball, won a pebble.
I want to
Did it
answer.
really?
I think so. Anyway,
think you're right.
so because I was,
I want to answer this question because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's
I'm
it's
very
twofold.
curious about this.
So I think the technology, as far as how we swing the club, how we move our body, right, how the golf club itself can help us, I think is bringing awareness to players, and players have a lot more awareness of what they're doing in their golf swing and how their equipment is helping their golf swing, and I'm talking about at the highest level, okay. And then, yeah, I think that the technology in the clubs are a little better, right? But when you look at like half the tour pros, they're playing blade irons, right? They're not playing the same irons.
They're drivers, right? They change their drivers.
It's the drivers that are and the ball that's really
Right,
making
right.
the biggest difference. But when you start looking at the irons and the wedges
And the wedges
and the
and the
putting,
putting, yeah.
I mean, it's all this technology that we have out there to show you what you're doing and to make you aware of what you're doing. To
Right.
start to
so you're more
understand what
efficient. You're
yeah.
more efficient with your wedges.
You're more efficient with
Right.
every swing you make at that point.
Because I am a firm believer that if we still had wooden woods and blades, Tiger would have won like 150 tournaments. Like he was just such a much better striker of the ball than anyone. Like who's going to do that? I mean, so back when I was in high school, that's when Greg Norman was hitting the ball 280. And that was like, 290 would lead in the tour.
Yeah, I think technology started leveling that playing field a little bit. Right now, it's heavily on putting and it's heavily on the mental game.
Well, have you watched any of like I was watching the other day, like the 99 Ryder Cup? There was a shot, I think it was like 170 maybe, and it was like Justin Leonard. I don't remember who he played when he had the big comeback. They both hit like 6-iron to a par 3, like 170.
Wow.
Right, and now what is that, 9-iron?
The ball's different.
Depends on who, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but the ball's different too.
Yeah, for sure.
the ball makes, to me, the biggest influence on it is the golf ball.
I don't know why this popped into my head. I was driving around at some point in the last 2 days or so, but I was thinking about when Bubba Watson switched to the Volvic ball, that
Ruined his freaking career.
Worst decision
finish
made.
ball, and
Well, we could have a whole list of the worst.
and
decisions.
how many of those balls that I actually sell in my pro shop because they're colorful. People just like them because they have color. And I was thinking to myself, those balls are probably do worse for you than anything. And, he had to switch back to the Titleist ball because, it may be yellow now, but because he couldn't work it. It had no workability to it. So the cover of the ball has a lot to do with it. I pick up every now and then as I'm driving around the course, I'll see them and pick them up. They have the biggest scuff marks on them. Like, I don't know how a matte finish ball you can play 2 or 3 holes with.
Well, you think he would have checked into that before he put his whole career in? How about guys who, have the best career, like Francesco Molinari, right? He plays great, and then he changes everything, including his putter.
Yeah.
And, of course, Phil changed in the Ryder Cup, right, because he needed the money from Callaway. I definitely believe that one. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But why else would you change your clubs before the biggest event?
Do you think that Phil
Was a gambler? I do, yes.
everybody on the PGA Tour gambles?
He's also 4 days older than me, and I'm like, that goddamn.
But do you think that he still has a working relationship with Callaway? That's just a random question.
He still plays the
You would
iron.
think.
I think he still plays their whole clubs. He just doesn't.
No, he's using a couple ping, 1 or 2 pings. Like
Is he
Phil
really?
Woods, yeah.
I didn't know he was doing
Yeah.
that. So he's freelancing.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're necessarily paying him to use the clubs anymore, right? I think he just knows the guys and the tour van. I mean, also, who goes to live? They had to hire somebody to come work on their clubs. They had to have a tour van, one of those multi-purpose tour vans had to come work with them.
See, I think that's where I think that's where the politics is kind of.
I mean, he's in right? He's in Carlsbad. He can just drive over to the Callaway.
I'm sure.
No, but what I'm saying to you is, like you said, Liv had to hire somebody to come tour van. I think that's in a sense. I think that's just kind of BS to me. It's
Well,
like
part of it is the logistics, though. I mean, they're all over the world. How are you going to get?
no. I get that. I get that.
PGA Tour is going to take precedent.
No, I get
It's
that.
not worth them to fly, a van. I mean, I don't even know how they do it, but they drive it, right? So
drive it.
how the hell are you going to get a thing to Riyadh and then England the next week or wherever they go?
Yeah, but at the same time, and I've never been to an event where I've seen players go in, but I've seen tons of videos. How often do you really think they're going in and grabbing that new Circle T putter and it be the one that they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to putt with this week and be like.
That's why I can't be on tour because I would change my putter too often. That's the only reason.
This guy buys putters
All right, my mother's listening. I don't do that. Actually, though, you know what is true? When Camerons used to be like $200, you could sell them on eBay for $100, and I would change, a couple times a year. But I couldn't afford to just buy Camerons, so I would, sell one and buy another one. And if I had kept those putters, I could have paid for another Fairways and Dreams. I had everything.
He says it right.
Fairways and Dreams?
Yeah, he says it right.
Well, I know. I mean,
Because
was
you're thinking of the clothing line.
I was
Fairway
there
and
when my
Green.
buddy came up with the name.
because you put it in my head.
Well, because that's what I thought his
people
name
get
was.
it wrong, but it's Fairways and Dreams. Fairways and Greens, bro.
You should bring that line in and just. Do you have a pro shop?
Well, this awesome sweatshirt and T-shirts. And,
Okay.
we have My favorite product is we have the FootJoy glove with our ball mark on it, with our logo.
Nice.
I mean, that's awesome.
Nice.
You gotta love that.
I try to lose ball mark. Like, we give out poker chips, and I try to lose them wherever I can.
I'm going to fill you in on something after this.
And they're dirt cheap.
Do you have
I
any?
got something even more
Even
dirt
better?
cheap that's even better.
Tees?
I'll fill you in.
Do you have any particular company that's like seeking you out, saying, "Hey, we want our product in here"?
I'm going to feel bad with this answer, but no. Should I?
I think.
Well,
you
he
should.
doesn't do club fitting. He doesn't do too much
No.
merchandise sales. so
Mizuno,
that
when we
would make
opened, was
sense.
great, but because they were targeting indoor golf, and then when 5-iron went with Callaway, they sort of seemed to have ended that program.
Interesting.
So like the pricing. So we have one of the things we have. Thanks for asking. Is rental sets. Our rental sets are Mizuno irons, usually Pingwoods, and Vokey wedges or Mizuno wedges,
Right.
and that's because they got they were really good to us when we opened. And then when I went to reorder, they're like, oh, we don't have that program anymore.
Wow.
But
All right.
they've been, so Mizuno's been good to us. TaylorMade, Mike is great. And that's kind of it. Like we don't sell clubs.
But you have rentals.
Oh, and Bettinardi. Sorry, Sean. Sean, you guys know Sean at Bettinardi? Good guy.
I do not.
Anyway.
Is that a putter? Bettinardi putters.
Yes. Veterinary putter.
I mean, I knew a kid in a kids camp that I did one year. He was like 12. He had a brand new one. And I'm like, what are you doing with that thing? Your parents don't.
And now he's like got a full ride to Clemson, right?
No, he's 14 and he's
No.
still a shit. He's
well,
Spieth
Spieth got his like Circle T when he was like super young or something. I want to know how and then he's like still has it. So it's probably a good investment for him.
I mean, I know a guy that's got at least 10 Circle Ts.
That guy's kids are set for college.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. And anytime I'm in the indoor teaching his kid, I'm like, you get near those putters, man. I've got a switch in my back pocket. It's going to hit your hand so quick. No, my dad says that. Nope, not while I'm here.
Right.
You can destroy it when Dad's around, but not while I'm here.
Well, so it's Constantino Rocca. He made that famous putt through the Valley of Sin, and they were doing like one of those things. And they interviewed him. He was like, "Yeah, my son took the putter out and ran it like he kind of ran through the driveway and just dragged it behind him." And he's like, "I didn't care." He's like, "I have lots of putters. I only have one son." I was like, "That was pretty cool." Tiger's analysis is the only club Charlie can't use is my putter. He said that once.
Well, he's made quite the career off of one club.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that Titleist can't recreate that club.
All right. Well, let's talk to the expert, Michael Little, about that. I've never found, backups never work.
How do you know if it's a backup? It's a mind trick. Oh, no, is this mine? Oh, this
Why?
is
I
mine.
have two very similar putters that I brought in here, and I was like, one works and one doesn't. And he's like, I can't tell you why.
I have a few putters that are the same, and one works better than the other
Yeah.
as well. I think it's mental.
It is mental.
Else.
It is. It's all in your
I don't
head.
think that they're different. I think it's mental.
You
I
guys
mean,
know the story
unless
with O'Meara, right?
wherever they're getting the materials from is inconsistent.
Well, the tolerance, they're definitely not it's impossible. So
if you cut it from the same bar.
All right, here's all I'm saying. When I was 19, I spent this summer, this was a great summer, working in San Diego at the Billy Casper Golf Camp. You guys weren't born yet.
No.
1989.
Not
I
I was
was.
born.
Do you know who Billy Casper is?
Yes.
I
I'm just
definitely
making
know who
sure
Billy
you're
Casper.
done.
I'm way older
He's
than
an
he
old
is.
head.
Okay. So Billy gets up and he does a clinic, and he played Spalding's, and he's like, when I need to get a new driver, I have them send me 10. This is obviously before club fitting and everything. It's like they send me 10 drivers. He's like, because they're not the same, and I use 10 and I pick one I like and I send the other 9 back. So even though they're cut from the same and manufactured the same,
Now shafts, I will agree with that.
yeah.
I will agree that there's no two of the same shaft. Usually when I do a club fitting, I'm like, give me that shaft. I want that.
I think
there.
that
I don't want to order one.
If I was a club fitter, I would. I know it's way more expensive to keep the shafts around, but that's to me the model that works, that makes the most sense to sell. Oh, but I was gonna say, so O'Meara gave his backup answer to Tiger like the year that he won the two. O'Meara won the 2 majors, and Tiger he beat Tiger right against the British, and he's like, yeah, use my putter. He's like, Tiger, why do you think that's my backup? It's not as good a putter.
I will go by the old saying. It's the Indian, not the arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, now I
think
will
there's a little
say,
bit of truth in all of this.
but I will say that has a little bit of skewness to it because I put a new grip on a putter just because it had tacos on it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
No,
that's
it was
cool. I
chili
know that
peppers.
grip. Yeah, I know that grip.
Sweet rolls. It was a sweet rolls, and it was heavier. And I went out to play Salkin with him, and there's video of him saying this guy is the worst putter.
He likes lake grips.
Well, I do. But this one was terrible for him.
Oh, it just threw the weight of the whole club
Yeah,
off,
and it
and I
didn't
couldn't
work.
get the ball to the
Oh.
hole.
Yeah.
But how come, like, one time I pulled out, at Farm Neck, actually, I pulled out a old ping, it wasn't new at the time, but ping cushion. Like, it was like a sort of an answer style. Anyway, like, I couldn't miss with that thing, like, the entire summer, and then it just went away. And the putter probably weighed 330 grams. There's, like, nothing now. Like, you can't use those putters anyway, so who cares? But, like, the magic comes and goes.
Yeah, sometimes. We got to record it so we can always go back to it.
Well,
Now you know. Well, now we do.
Belle Biv DeVoe.
All right,
know.
so let's wind this down. Let's
Hey, that went over his head too.
I
That's
wasn't
a
paying
BBD
attention.
reference. I know the BBD.
All right, so let's wind this down. Let's start wrapping this up. Obviously, we've gone for a long time.
It's like the end of Howard Stern. So, let's summarize.
Let's no,
Here's what we learned today.
we're definitely not summarizing this one. We don't,
Tim is
we
Tim
don't
is
ever
the best.
summarize, do we?
No, we
What I
never
learned
summarize
today is
because
what Michael said. My favorite quote I've heard in months. Tim is the best.
Tim is the best. There you go.
he says that about
That's okay.
every person on there. But I
He's a
actually,
very friendly person.
no offense to anybody that's been on here in the past, but I've had more fun with you, just staring over at you, looking at you, and I think the funniest thing
What's a date?
that got me was you asked about bowling or something earlier, and he just looks at you like we're not on camera. It's like,
Is it rock a bowling or
He's
rock
like,
and bowling?
he's like, I don't know anything about bowling.
yeah, he's like he doesn't think we're on camera, like, but he's like, it's not audio, strictly audio. We are being filmed, so you'll be. I don't know if Sean was able to toggle that,
He may have
but he
gotten it.
may be able to catch it back and rerun it. That may be a good reel. A question that Michael asked, and the guest just like looks at Michael and is like,
We're gonna make that into a meme. Yeah, be a good meme. So, what are the future plans for Fairways and Dreams?
Growth. We're going to grow.
Okay. Do you have a marketing strategy for that, or is it just through word of mouth? How are you?
No, I'm sorry. Marketing. New locations.
Oh, got it.
Actual
Got
growth.
it. Oh, okay. All right.
It's a great business. I don't know. Someone told me recently it's somewhat seasonal. And so one way to combat that is
No,
to increase your revenues.
All right. Do you want to know why I said that?
It is seasonal. You need some
Okay,
help.
to an extent, but I think that so many. I said that for our listeners because so many people think that it is seasonal, right?
Yeah.
And I want people
They're
to know
wrong.
that it's not
They're
seasonal.
lovely
and
people. They
that's-
happen to be mistaken.
That is why
I-
I made the comment. All right.
you can't go out of golf courses at 9 o'clock. Well, you can if you're a fucking menace to society, but you can't go out to play golf at 9 o'clock at night. And
I mean, in Scotland, but we're not in Scotland.
no.
What's
And
wrong with lumberyards? I own 3.
where?
Caddyshack, man.
Wait. So do you already have like something in the works? Can we like spoil this
No,
surprise here?
I do not have anything in the works. I'm looking. I'm actively looking. That's what I have in the works.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
would you
gotta be hard
would
to
you
find
purchase
right
a
now.
driving range if you had the opportunity?
Indoor out driving range?
Outdoor driving range.
That's
Indoor,
not my
outdoor.
brand.
I know it's not your brand, but I mean, you got to think about it. You have indoor and you have outdoor. I'm
Yeah.
throwing business
I
ideas.
don't think I could afford that, right? Because those are real estate plays.
We've been looking into it. It's
But you have the ice cream and gelato magnet over here.
you could have ice cream at Fairways and Dreams.
Wait, can I come and
I
do
would
it?
serve ice
Can I
cream.
do an event
I
at
love ice
Fairway
cream.
and Dreams?
Of course. Another one. We did a phenomenal. One of the most successful event we've ever had was with Michael.
Really?
Yeah, that was a 5/8 success rate.
Okay. All right. All right.
More than half the people.
All right. I like it. We're gonna have to do that again.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
We
then
are. I think we're on the
just-
calendar.
Yeah. Wait, is it on the
Ish.
calendar? And I forgot.
Yeah, I think so. Is it? I'm glad we came and sat here for 7 hours. If we stay long enough, it'll be time.
This couch.
What are
is
you guys
comfy.
doing for Thanksgiving?
I
I'm
love
actually.
it.
I'm
I think it's
actually. I will
tomorrow
be
now.
back here, but I'm going to Florida on Saturday.
Oh yeah. You
I
gonna
will-
bring your scooter or your bowling ball?
Neither one. I'm actually going to take my clubs again. This will be the second time I'll be in Florida within a month. I flipped a cart when I was in Stream Song about 2 weeks ago.
What did they have to say about that?
They were mad because they didn't do the incident report the day that it happened.
They
But
were mad at you?
no, not at all, because their carts were set at 15 miles an hour, and I came off the fairway and hit sand cart path,
Oh.
and it rolled on me. It's just it happened. These carts these days, especially with the ones we have, lithium-ion batteries, dude. You literally, if you flipped it over on top of yourself, you could lift it. I couldn't lift it off myself that day, but you literally could.
What was going on that day?
It hurt. It landed on. It's one of those things where we all get in the cart and we're riding with our leg out of the cart like a moron. That's the reason you.
Well,
don't.
no, you play better when you do that because your ankles are more mobile from being in the cart.
It's the wind that's going up your pants that keeps your boxers dry. Boxers. Who wears boxers?
Who plays golf in boxers?
I
Although
wear boxers.
No, I got briefs all. I can't
let's
wear
back
it.
up. Back when you wore the pants that were too big and the shirts that were 8 sizes too big, of course you played in boxers.
Yeah, yeah. Had to fight the boner urge, man, because in any of those days.
And my mother is listening. Remember.
Hi, Mom.
She doesn't play. It's funny. There's five in our family, and my dad and my brother and I like dominate. It's like golf, and we bought my sister a putter once. It's a phenomenal putter. I think she used it like twice.
Must have been a Circle T.
Nope, the original Rossi, dude.
Ah, nice. That's a good putter.
It's super light. We still have it though.
Yeah,
I always think about bringing it on the course, and then I'm like, it's 33 inches and too light. But other than that, it's great.
love it.
It's been a pleasure, man. It
Thank you,
really
gentlemen.
has. I can't wait to come down and check the facility out. I won't tell you that I'm coming so that you can't tell me that you're closed. But I'll
Book
just.
online, fdindoorgolf.com.
There we go.
Did you guys hear that?
All right. I was just going to ask you
Because
that.
Fairways and Dreams is a dive bar in upstate New York. So we are FD Indoor Golf.
But if you were to type in Fairways and Dreams Indoor
Conchi,
Golf,
yeah.
it's going to come up.
Yeah, we pay for that.
As you should.
Yeah,
Any business should pay for promotion.
I totally agree. Except for if you have a secret indoor golf center with putting green that you can't find. First time I came here, I was like, "Where is this place?"
Yeah, you'll never find it.
It's like Studio 54.
It's funny because now when I text people or like emails or whatever, and they're like, "Okay, well, what's the address?" I'm like, "Just look for the red building
with
with
the
the
gates.
white door and the black SUV, and you'll find it." And every time they call me,
Well, your place is awesome.
thank
I
you,
love coming out here.
thank you.
And we didn't even talk about it, but Quintic is like amazing.
It's a very good machine. Yes, it's
It
great.
changed my
technology.
summer.
That's good to hear.
The guy, Michael, said to me, "Did you change your stroke?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, you're 1 degree back, and last week you were 1 degree forward." I'm like, "I don't know. It's 2 degrees, bro." But anyway, it worked.
2 degrees of separation, man.
I love it. Well, Tim, thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
Michael.
pleasure.
Drew.
I'm sure we'll have you on again. We'll come down to your spot and have some fun.
That would be fun.
You can come down to my spot and talk to somebody else.
We come down and do a podcast live out of there.
You know what I want to do? I want to have
It's the longest goodbye ever.
Let's do a podcast in Fairways and Dreams with the most active person you have.
Okay. I know who that is.
Okay.
And we're going to find out why they're so active, what they've learned, and we're just going to
And
dive
after
into
those
it.
5 minutes, what are we going to do?
Wrap it up.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you, man. See you guys next week.